Hello everyone and welcome to the Astroflower reading, the collective reading for the March of August. You will be getting your individual readings coming out tomorrow and on Wednesday. That's Water and Earth on Tuesday and Fire and Air on Wednesday. So let's get on. I haven't actually got a name for August yet. So I don't know what it's going to come out like. We'll end up with a name, and by the end of it we'll start calling it something. But August is obviously after Augustus Caesar, like July is Julius Caesar. I don't know why I'm mentioning that. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. Let's just get on. Let's just see what's happening. See if there's anything more that we can get out of this logical revolution or evolution that's marching on, and it's just not going to stop, I don't think. And I think people are really starting to wake up to the idea that there's a lot of things in this world that are just not logical, and it no longer sits with people. So let's see with the overall energies. Good quality work. Good quality work in August. The overall energy here is getting on and doing. So that applying in July may be a case now of converting it into good quality work and getting on and doing, basically. That's what it could all be about. And applying, so this is the collective, and the only way to apply good quality work in the collective is by applying good quality work within your life. Don't put up with any illogical, irrational behavior around you. That's my advice. You know, you don't need to beat people over the head because they're being a little bit illogical and everything like that, because we all can be from time to time. But don't be afraid of calling it out and just sort of kind of going, yeah, well, that's not really natural. That's not really natural. And that's what the logical or the logical evolution is all about. Getting back to some common sense. You know what I mean? You know, at the moment, common sense is trading really all-time low, to quote Gil Scott-Heron, in a great song called B-Movie. You know, if you know all about go and have a look at Gil Scott-Heron. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, we get the Three of Pentacles, and I think this is coming together in good quality work between us all. But it starts with your good quality work as an individual. And coming back to Gil Scott-Heron again, I was just doing a session with Diego. Hello, Diego. Looking forward to that good news that's coming your way. And it was, I did a quote from Gil Scott-Heron, which was a case of someone can't do everything, but everyone can do something. That's what it was. And I think that's really important going forward. You know, really important going forward. And I think this is basically playing to your strengths, playing to the collective, bringing your strength to the party. Let's see what it is on our relationships, how we combine with one another, how we connect with one another. Two of Cups, that's the karmic message. Getting in line with the natural common sense, the logical common sense, will open up this sort of appreciation that we have for one another, because I can't do anything without you guys. And I'm not saying you guys can't do anything without me, but it's because you can, obviously, but that's what the collective is all about. It will always keep going on long after me and you are no longer in this place. But at the same time, it's getting in alignment emotionally and within our relationships with everything that is around us. And the moment we start doing that, that's when we start generating a really good amount of energy. You know, that's when lots of things are possible. Happiness is possible on a long-term scale. You know, creating that good vibe between, and getting back to the idea of having fun. That's what we should be doing. That's what life is all about, surely. How is the universe influencing this? The Nine of Pentacles. This is another connection card to everything. I keep saying this on the Nine of Pentacles. Those fruits are there is because you are connected to everything. And I think this is where the universe is sort of saying to the collective, to the planet itself, sort of saying, if we get in step and in tune with nature, nature is going to bring everything else to the party. And the universe is trying to bring this through, trying to bring absolutely all the fruits that we need in order to explore reality, or explore our lives as individuals, but also as us as a collective. And any bodies that are advocating for any form of destruction is completely illogical. There is obviously, I cut down a tree because my house needs heating. That is logical, and the tree will understand. When I go to a tree, I've cut down trees because I've lived in the countryside, and in the mountains, we live off wood burners. That's the way it goes. But before I cut the tree down, I explain to the tree what I'm doing. I explain to the forest why I'm cutting it down and everything like that. And the tree often sort of says, well, if you cut me at this level here, don't cut me too low, I can grow back, so it's fine. And they understand. The tree will understand. That's not just destruction for wanting to destroy another thing. So if anybody's advocating to destroy another thing just to destroy it, that's illogical. I can understand destroying something because for the greater good, or for the good of something. But if it's just a case of beating something else, not worth it. Not really worth it. Destruction like that for ego is not worth it. So this is where the universe is sort of saying, if we only need to take one little step forward, and that little step is being able to call things out and saying, no, don't want that in our lives. Don't want that for my kids. Don't want that for me. Don't want that for anybody. I don't want for those other people that you're causing problems for, and I don't want those people to obviously to cause me problems either. You know what I mean? Let's just, stop it, grow up, sort of attitude. Okay, let's just see how our ancestors are sort of influencing us. Carrying too much. I think that is a case. I think a lot have been laid at the door of this is right, this is what the humans have done, we fought against this wrong and everything like that. And it keeps coming back. Well, if it keeps coming back, well, obviously no one's won anything as yet. And maybe it's a case of looking to do things in a different way and letting go of a lot of things. Letting go of sort of saying, these people are right, these people are wrong. This bipolar sort of thing of kind of going, they're right, they're wrong sort of thing. It's not as everybody knows within relationships. And I think everybody knows that it's not as simple as that. And it's communication is key, understanding is key and everything like that. And I think if everyone, once we connected with everyone else, I think everyone will realise that actually having fun is much more enjoyable for everybody, and everybody makes a lot more out of it. So I think here is like a past sort of sales of sort of saying, we're carrying too much in this. We need to lighten the load in the way we confront situations around us. And that is what that Two of Cups is all about. Coming into alignment with ourselves as individuals, but also most definitely collectively. How is our future self sort of talking to us? Four of Pentacles. Yes, we need to let go. We're holding on too tightly to something. That is what I'm getting out of this. Often I usually sort of say for the Four of Pentacles, because there is an aspect of this, is investing our time and effort into relationships or to emotions or connections with people that, around the world, with groups and stuff like that. And being wise of how we invest our time and money. There is a great deal of aspect of that. And our future self is sort of saying, I think this is where the natural logical evolution comes into play. Simply because it's that idea of saying no. I think that's what also comes into it. There is also an aspect of holding on to the past, saying, that is our traditional foes, as it were, or I have done things like this in the past, therefore I will do like that in the future. That's maybe what we're holding on to tightly, of just accepting and doing the same sort of thing. It's isn't it what they say? It's sort of like doing the same actions and expecting a different outcome is a good sign of madness. And I think there's a little bit of truth to be said in this. And our karmic path is for us to come together in a very sort of unjudgmental way of just sort of kind of going, wherever you go in the world. Oh, it was a song by Louis Armstrong, brilliant song. He said, no matter where you go in the world, everyone wants the same thing. Want to be by the fire with your family or your friends, and just enjoying a nice meal and enjoying each other's company. Let's get back to that. That's really where everyone's going, or what the true life is all about. And if maybe I'm holding on to that too tightly, maybe I should give over to the idea of allow things to just really go south. I don't particularly want to. I'm not gonna push for that. I'm gonna push for for being in connection with the natural, logical, common sense, basically, and that's what the ecology is all about. But within the relationships here in the collective, I think it's a case of allowing to let go of certain traditions that aren't really traditions. They haven't really been with us that long, but just being one way and not being able to look at the world in a different way. We'll see that in the clarification. What's the general sort of outcome? King of Swords. I think either way, if we still keep carrying too much and we don't let go, it's going to build out a definite direction. A direction made out of judgment. That's what the King of Swords is all about. And I think that's what's going to come out of this this month. It's I'm getting accountability August, but I don't feel quite happy enough with that yet. We'll see what another word comes out. It's a case where whatever direction we take, whichever goes on in life, there is going to be a clear direction that comes out of all of this. And if we stick to this common sense logic, this logical evolution, where we're connecting with one another and really getting in tune with one another, I think basically we're going to come out with this with a very clear vision of where we should be going. And I think we should just go ahead and go and do it, regardless of what the governing or governance says, or big business says, or whatever any sort of massive organization that has a vested interest in division says. I think you should just turn around and kind of go, well, yeah, we tried that, thank you very much, but no thanks, I'm off. I'm going to start doing this. And start walking towards unison between us all. I think that is where we should be going in regards to our relationships, and how we connect with other people that are around us. So it is a bit of it's a bit like a reflection time. It's a realization. It's like arrival in August. Now it's accountability in August. There's something coming out there. There's something coming out. I'll come out with the word at the end of the. You may have your ideas. Put in the comments and the description below. But I think it's a case of here where it's just kind of like, it's now we're looking at the accountability of the situation, and just allowing and looking at the accountability, doing some good quality work, and just being able to let go of the past in order for that sort of Two of Cups and that Nine of Pentacles to come through us. Let's just see what's going on the material side. And the material side, then, this could be to do with. This could be to do with. I'll get it out in a minute. Oh, blimey! To do with finances, governance, technology, nature itself. I talked about solar activity at the end of July, beginning of August. There has been a lot about that, and I have put on the thing about this, and I said there may be even like a hurricane that comes into Western Europe, into Western France and Southwestern UK. And we have been having some serious storms, it's got to be said. It's very windy today. There's a break in the rain at the moment. It hasn't been hot. It's been very hot in certain parts of Europe, but maybe that's still up in the cards. So this is what we're looking for on this side here. On the karmic mission on that side, that happiness after difficulty, our karmic mission here in life at this present time is all about fun. Is all about enjoying it. You know, enjoying the moment and getting through the difficulty that we've lived over the last century. If you look at what happened in the last century, it was pretty traumatic, really. You know, there was several conflicts at the beginning of the century. There was social conflicts in the middle of the century. There was financial conflicts at the end of the century. It's been very, very conflictual over the last 100 years. And I think this future here is what we're going into now, is all about sort of getting past those difficulties and getting onto the happiness. And I think it's sharing that love, sharing that good vibration within the economy and stuff like that, I think is essential. I don't necessarily mean sort of like, you know, everybody should get the same wage. I think that's ridiculous. I think competition is a very good thing. But it needs to come, it needs to be on a fair playing field. You know, there's got to, you know, so much through time, I think everybody's felt that we're playing on a field, on a playing field that's like this, and we're all playing uphill. And there's a select number of people that are just playing on the top of the hill, just having to kick down the field. You know, it's easy to do. And I think it's leveling out the playing field with our happiness, basically, and just sort of like investing your money into companies and situations as much as you can. You know, as I said, you know, it's not for someone to do everything, it's for everyone to do something. And do what you can. Invest in what you feel is a good thing to invest in. How is the universe sort of like giving us this? Justice. Yes, a level playing field. This is what I'm talking about. And the universe wants this. It may be that we've stuck in certain aspects of life, certain ways of doing things, which has been unjust. An equal of opportunity, I think, rather than the equality of outcome. I'm much more of that sort of thing. Because nature is not about equality of outcome. It is about equality of opportunity. Because that's what creation's all about, surely. It's what we do with that opportunity. And we have this opportunity to bring us back into balance, back into harmony. And I think this is, we do this on a daily basis with very little things. And once we start applying those little things, it becomes incredibly logical and evident of what we should be doing going forward. What's happening? How's the past connecting to this future at the moment? How's our past, our ancestors or the earth, how is that connecting to our past? It's a Fool. Yeah, I think it's been a bit of a leap of faith for the human race. You know, I think a good friend of mine, she's an Aries, she said years ago, the human race is winging it. They're flying by the seat of their pants, as it were. They're taking chances. No one really knows what's going on, but we're just all sort of pretending we do know what's going on. And I think this is like the past has been bringing us that. It's been a bit of a leap of faith in the human race of coming together. And you know, over the past sort of 100 years, that's that leap of faith that's really coming to the fore. Of, you know, of getting through our differences and disputes and still being able to, at the end of the day, come together. You know, and I think this is across the globe, this has to happen. You know, everyone has to have the equal opportunity. I think this is really important. And helping one another to enable that equal opportunity is a really good idea. And I think that's what that leap of faith is all about. What's our future sort of bringing up? Ace of Cups. I think when the application, once we start applying it and doing it without with no fear in our heart, I think we can change the world by very little actions. Bob Marley did a song called The Small Axe that can chop down the biggest tree. With my small axe, I can chop down the biggest tree. And I think this is what this is all about, is once we start getting involved in it, our future self is bringing it into here, is bringing into that whole idea of enjoyment and connection and how we create things and physically do things and how we run governance and how we run the economy in a very joyous sense rather than a controlling sense. This is very much more in a joyous sense. And that's what our future selves is trying to encourage within us. What is the outcome for this month here? What is the outcome for this month here? King of Cups. So we've now got the King of Swords and the King of Cups at the top of the dial. Hang on a second. There's a lot of wind around here at the moment, so I'm being a little bit wary of my cards. Yeah, there's a lot of work that we've done under the surface, and now it's coming to a stage where it's there's another word that's coming to mind about August. It's coming to a stage here where we are really getting into tune with who we are and feeling at one with who we are and feeling happy about it without internal conflict. It's coming to an end. There is a bit of a this leap of faith, this Fool card is tied into some sort of event as well that's leading us up to that. It's as if I'm not quite sure it's this, but it's as if like the economy has failed, then therefore we got to take a leap of faith and just kind of go, okay, it's failed. We now need to leap of faith to go forward. And we just go ahead and do it and go forward. And I think it's going to be quite good, actually. I'm going to be pulling some cards on nature to see if nature, there's some sort of natural event that's sort of coming through. But it's getting in alignment with our heart and with our soul, I think, is really important. Alignment, August align with August. That's what's it. Aligning August. Yeah, align with August. Is that good? Tell me if it's good. Tell me in the comments below. I think it's quite cool. Align with August. I like that. Let's just see. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your support that you give this channel. Without you, we do not exist, and I really do appreciate you getting involved in this project. It's absolutely beautiful to see. You can do that anyway by any which way you wish to support this channel, by subscribing or whatever, commenting, whatever that sort of thing is. There's also links in the description below where I do sort of private readings. I've been meeting a lot of people, a lot of the subscribers through private meetings have been absolutely brilliant. Private readings and through healing sessions have been absolutely great. Really have enjoyed it. So let's just see. This is going to be a clarification. So yeah, just to sort of thank you very much for being here more than anything else. With the Three of Pentacles, we get the Three of Swords. There's 2 threes here, and it's like that. It's like the Star of David. It's like those 2 threes, those 2 triangles here. I think this is the progressive one, and this is the. This is quite funny. Look at the top there. You have this triangle there, like that, that's pointing upwards, and then on this one you have the triangle that's pointing downwards. I think we've come through the difficult past, and now it's time to get involved and start working on the bright and logical future, basically. I think we've been through the most difficult part. It is now a case of getting on and doing for the future and building for the future and allowing the emotional past to be in the past. Do not forget ever the emotional past. Do not forget the past. Do not try and counsel it. you know, recognize it, own it, as bad as it may be sometimes. But if we don't own it, we may forget that we did that sort of rubbish before, and the future generations may end up doing the same stupid things again. So I think it's not a case of celebrating it, it's a case of owning it and saying, yes, owning it, you know, as a human race, we did harmful stuff to one another, or we did harmful things to the planet, or whatever it is, doesn't really matter, it's in the past. As long as we learn from it and move on from that, it's absolutely brilliant. With the Two of Cups, look at that, Six of Wands, success, our rightful place, our righteous place. We have won that place because we're coming into alignment with one another. And I think this is a case of literally coming together with your neighbours, with your friends, your community, your family, whatever it is, it's coming together. It's walking out of the past and into the future in harmony. Doesn't necessarily you're going to agree with everything that everybody else says, but that doesn't matter. That's good in a way. But even if someone is completely wrong, and you know, that's fine. But it's good for them to express that thing, but it's good to recognise when you're wrong, because then you can then build on that going forward, and it's a really good thing. Becomes a really good thing to be wrong in a way. Okay, so you know, whatever it is, you know, I think it's a case of building that harmonious thing with others that are around us. Look at that, Two of Cups again. This is what the universe is offering us. This is what I'm saying about connecting to everything with the Nine of Pentacles, because this is what we're clarifying here. The Nine of Pentacles, we have all the possibilities. If we put ourselves in alignment with ourselves to start with, and with the logical or common sense evolution that we're going through at the moment. With the Ten of Wands, we get the Three of Cups. We're holding, this is what I'm saying, is we're holding on to things that are saying, like, you know, I'm not going to speak to that person because my grandfather was a conflict with those group of people. And it's just like, kind of going, let go of the past. We're carrying too much weight. We're carrying too much judgment. Let go of it. Enjoy. Start connecting with other people. I think it's so obvious. It's just so obvious. It just seems so stupid not to do it. With the Four of Pentacles, now this is an interesting one. Let's see what we get. Manifestation. I think this comes into much more into the idea of, if you want something, you've got to be wise about how you spend your effort, your money, your love, your emotions. And I think that's what the Four of Pentacles is all about. We can really manifest it, but we've got to be serious about it. You know, we've got to be, in August, it's a case of that we've got to, this is another one that could be called Own It in August. It's that sort of thing, it's own it in August. I think that's what's coming out of it. We have to own our own manifestation. We have to own what we want to live as a collective going forward. And in order to do that, we have to do that as an individual and take individual responsibility for ourselves. Individual responsibility for applying that logical and common sense energy that we have within us, that you know, that could provide something so amazing going forward. It could be so much fun. It could be so much fun. And we've never tried the fun thing. We've never tried living in a world where it's fun to explore, it's fun to create, it's fun to get new technology, it's fun to you know, to work with nature, it's fun to be with one another. I don't have to beat you to have fun. I don't necessarily, you know, I don't have to beat you to have fun. I don't have to come first in order for it to be fun. Maybe we should turn the Olympics into, rather than a 100-metre dash, it could be like an egg and spoon race. Can you imagine that? And this year's gold medal goes to, and it'll be fun, wouldn't it? You know, I think, you know, that's what I mean. And everyone would have a laugh. We used to have this program in the UK called It's a Knockout. I don't know if you had it, where people would dress up in these massive sort of like rubbery costumes and try and do things, and it was just so funny at watching these competitions, these people trying to do practically impossible things with impossible circumstances, and it was just hilarious. And there was a European version of it where, you know, countries would be competing with other countries, and it was just fun. It was just a laugh. Ah, gee whiz. It could be such good fun, people. Anyway, King of Swords, get back to being serious, right? No messing around. Getting back to being serious. Right, look. There you go, thank you. This is more like it, getting back to being serious. King of Swords, taking a direction. Okay, so it's got to be a fair exchange. So it's got to work for the collective in order for it to work for everybody. If it doesn't work for the collective in a way, then it's not going to work. If it's only working for a select few, then it's not going to work. So whatever you do, whatever you invest your time in, whatever you choose to have your how you impact the collective through your own individual actions, it has to be for the greater good. It has to be for the collective. It has to be the fact that if, you know, if the collective is good, everybody will be good. Or everybody can be good. You know, it's not going to be perfect. Perfection does not exist. But I think it's whatever we do, it's whatever direction we take, it's got to be a direction that actually is not detrimental. That's what it's got to do. And I think that's what the letting go of on that side there, in the relationship side and the emotional side, is letting go of the idea of, I'm going to be right. Okay, so you're right, fine, great, fantastic. Can we now move on? Or do we have to sing your praises for the next 5,000 years just because you were right? Okay, you're right, great. Now let's move on to the next thing. Oh, you were wrong in the next thing, but you're right in that last thing. So we appreciate you being wrong and right. It's fine. For the collective, it's a good thing. Let's just see what's going on the material side, on the relationships, on the economy side and everything like that. There's definitely a movement towards, and it's an exciting movement as well, towards opening up where everyone feels that they have their place within the collective in this sort of sense. On the karmic message, you get the 5 of Wands. Happiness after difficulty. I think maybe the conflict that we need to get past the idea of this conflict that we might have been having with one another, a financial conflict, or it could be to do with resources and stuff like that, and actually striving to be the best example of ourselves. And I think that's where it's going to breed that sort of coming together and that happiness where we could actually go on with our heart and actually sort of saying, we're proud as a generation. And when I talk about a generation here, I'm talking about a generation which is a 100-year generation. You know, it's the sort of like, I was part of that century that really turned it around. And I'm so proud to have been part of that generation. With the Justice card, you get the Ace of Cups again. We're going to find that harmony and that righteous place through our heart, through applying our heart's desires of how we want the economy to go, how we want governance to be, and you know, how we want our environment to be as well. You know, as I said, destruction just for ego is not a good thing, but using our resources wisely is actually a good thing. And we are here to use our resources. You know, that is, you know, we shouldn't ignore any of our resources. I think that's really important. What's this Fool all about? I think this Fool is about following leaders, following icons, following a person. And I think this leap of faith is almost like the past is sort of saying, we've gone into this leap of faith about being at one with humans, about being one with one another. And that leap of faith has brought forward, and throughout the entire past, of people who have been leaders that we have followed blindly, that and I think I think that's coming to an end. I think now we're going to be moving into a stage where we're going to be following our hearts, following our natural logic. It's like a herd of, let's just say, the fishes that are in the sea that swim in a school. When one changes direction, they all change together. We've all seen the birds that fly in the sky, and they do the starlings that do that lovely dance in the sky. And they fly off one another. So when one gets affected, the other one gets affected. And I think this is where we get back to being a little bit more sort of realizing that we're just a bunch of animals, really. Humans are just a bunch of animals at the end of the day. Not that we're disgusting. Not that animals are disgusting. Why did I say that? Animals are not disgusting. I'm sorry about that, all you animals. All the other animals. It's finding our righteous place within nature, I think, is a really good thing. Where is this future taking us? To our dreams and our aspirations, our ultimate goals. This is where we're heading now. And as we're heading towards it, good quality work is going to be needed within. And I think we need to turn our back on all the bad, destructive things within the material world, within the technological world, within the financial world, within the governance world, that's just been serving egos and hasn't been serving the greater good. And that's when we can start aspiring for really huge sort of like advancements. With the King of Cups, you get the Two of Pentacles. I think this is it's a choice. It's like it's a choice to follow one thing at a time. The things that actually work. The things that I want to say, for you Scorpios out there, you'll know it as well. And there's been quite a few signs that I've said things that make you go, CC Factory. But yeah, no, this is about following the evident path. I think this is about sort of making the choices that are just clear and decisive, based upon the physical facts within the economy and stuff like that. And I think it's going to reveal a lot about us as humans. Obviously, there's the summer period in the northern hemisphere. It's summer holidays and so forth. But I do, there is a there is this lull in August. But I think it gives us that opportunity to really own it. So I'm going to be calling it Own It in August. Own It in August. That's what this reading is going to be called. Own It in August. Own our future. Own our past in order to own our future. Okay? I do want to pull a few cards on nature, because I do think nature has her role to play. I'm going to be pulling 3 cards here on nature, and let's just see what she says on this. First things first, what's coming up on like the material side of life? Work. She's getting on with her work. And I think this, she's going through a transition. The solar system is going through a transition as it goes through the universe, as it's going through the galactic plane, because that's what we're going through. And that's what pole shift's all about. And she's getting on and doing her work. I almost feel like she's like, nature's almost kind of like going, it's like you've got, for those of you who've got kids or dogs or whatever, you're kind of going, yes, kids, I don't really have time at the moment because I'm doing stuff. I've got to deal with this. And nature, I think, is kind of sort of doing that. And I still think we're going to get a lot of signs that are going to show us that pole shift is here, and the pole shift has the biggest effect upon the environment in all its senses than anything else. Has so much more of the magnetic field of the earth and the magnetic field of the heliosphere, of the magnetic field of the universal vibration, the energy that is flowing through everything, has the biggest effect on the environment, on the atmosphere, on everything, much, much far greater than any other thing that we can think of or try and put a tag on. That's my personal point of view. And, you know, I think that's the Earth is literally kind of getting into a stage now which is kind of going, I'm just getting on. You guys have got to hang on. Knight of Cups coming through on the energy side. I think, yeah, with this pole shift, it's offering an energy that is completely open and new and to be discovered throughout nature as well. What's the overall outcome for all of this? 5 of Cups. I think if we tie it into the collective, I think nature is going ahead and doing what she does and being who she is and stuff like that. And yes, I think we might feel disappointed because we took our eye off nature. We took our eye off her cycles and didn't realise where we were in this whole sort of changing environment of energy, which is happening hugely within everybody and everything. Just trying to see if there's anything that comes through. There is one thing that comes through, but I don't think it's major, and I don't think it's yet, but it's brewing. Something has to do with volcanic activity. And maybe that's what's going to come through that's going to slow us down and make us a little bit disappointed in life because we can't do as much because of a volcano, or could that it's just changed our environment a little bit. Because when a volcano goes off, it changes huge amounts of things within the world. Huge amounts. I mean, like literally changes a lot more than El Nino. And El Nino is that sort of like that vibration that just keeps coming back and keeps coming back. So I don't think nature itself or the environment is going to have a major effect. I think we've seen the first signs of pole shifts with the storms that we've been having in the UK and the winds that have been coming through and the type of weather that we've been having. It's, you know, that's what I said last time, and I think we've been noticing that over this past week. But yes, I think it's more going to be within the human existence is the changes that, or the owning it in August. This is what it's going to be about this month. Okay, so there you go. Thank you very much for everybody for being here with us. It's always a pleasure to see you here. It really is. You know, you have your individual sign readings coming out, as I said, on tomorrow and Wednesday. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday. Earth and water on Tuesday, fire and air on Wednesday. I will see you there for that. Thank you very much for all the support that you give to this channel. It's been absolutely beautiful. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.